Yes! The NBA is back! July 31st, let's go!
Yes! 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 Yes!
But it's gonna look weird as hell and it'll change the playoffs for everybody. First off, they're putting 22 teams at Disney World, reworking who gets in the playoffs. Thought it was Lakers Grizzlies? Nope. It could be Dame time for LA. Thought Philly was the 6th seed? No, they're gonna play regular season games. Who knows what they'll be? Plus, there's another aspect of this plan that will change who the 2020 NBA champ would have been. In this video, we'll break it all down, the entire plan, and why it affects LeBron, Giannis, Luka, the entire league. Hey, it's Casey, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, notification bells, all that. It's such an exciting day because we now know the complete plan. So the first thing that changes everything is the end of the regular season here. The NBA is gonna play 8 regular season games to get every team to around 70 completed games. That means they can fulfill their local TV contracts. It saves them a bunch of money. Also, asking the NBA players to leave family to go into a bubble for at least over a month is a lot. They don't get paid for the playoffs, just regular season games. So it makes sense that players are gonna get paid for all this trouble. Now, 22 teams is the number. That means the worst teams are out. The ones that are invited are the 16 already in the playoffs, plus the 6 teams within 6 games of the playoffs. That is the Pelicans, Blazers, Spurs, Kings, Suns, and Wizards. So the NBA is gonna rewrite the end of the regular season schedule for everyone. There will be no gimme games, no Knicks on the schedule, no Warriors, no Cavs. New Orleans had a good chance of sneaking in with the easiest schedule down the stretch. Not anymore. That sucks. Memphis had the 2nd toughest schedule down the stretch. They get a break. So with these 8 regular season games, seeds could change dramatically. Like every year, the West is super tight. The 2 seed and the 6 seed separated by just 4 games. Now that's not enough for the Clippers to realistically fall all the way down to the Rockets spot, but it could mess with current matchups. When we look at the playoff picture, Houston against Denver was gonna be spicy. Slow team against a fast team, dominant center against the micro ball all-stars. Now I could see the 3 seed Nuggets going up to 2, falling to 4, 5, or 6. The same logic can be applied to almost any team. The only seeds that are safe are the 1 seeds. The Lakers and Bucks are locked in. And the top 6 in the East are not gonna fall below 6. The second reason this plan changes everything are these play-in games. All 22 teams are gonna have a chance to get in the playoffs because of play-in games. The way it's gonna work is at the end of these regular season games, if the 8 seed has a 4-game cushion, they automatically get into the playoffs. But if the 9 seed is within 4 games, they're gonna have play-in games. For the 8 seed, it's double elimination, meaning they can lose once and still have a chance to get in. But for the 9th seed, if they're within 4 games, if they lose once against the 8 seed, they're out. So we could have playoffs before the playoffs, which actually is a really cool idea. It's gonna have a lot of drama built in if it comes to that. And on this channel, I've said that I do think that they should just go with 16 teams in the bubble for safety. But if they have to play these extra games to make up revenue, I am a big fan of these play-in games. If they did just have the 16 teams and go right in, we would get some matchups like Lakers Grizzlies or Bucks Magic. You know how boring and mismatched first rounds can be? That's not exactly what the NBA wants to advertise to the entire world. Play-in games plus the finish to the regular season with the best teams will provide competitive, high-stakes, entertaining basketball on TV right away. It'll be the perfect appetizer to the postseason. The other reason this plan changes everything is inviting these 6 extra teams into the bubble. Now the format has 5 West teams plus Memphis playing for the 8th seed in the West, and just Washington against Orlando in the East. Now, if you're the Bucks, you don't care who you play in the first round because you would kill Washington or Orlando. The Lakers, though, are a different story. Now, if we ranked every one of these West teams on the fringe, 1 through 6, so the most dangerous to the Lakers, I think you would put the Suns as the least dangerous. Yeah, they started off the season well, but they slowed down and they don't have much playoff experience or star talent outside of Devin Booker, who's been awful on defense this year. Next are the Kings. Also a young team without much playoff experience. The Lakers' defense would crush Sacramento's already bad offense, 4th worst in the West. Marvin Bagley will probably start in their front court, so Anthony Davis and LeBron James will feast in the paint. The 4th most dangerous team to the Lakers would be the Grizzlies. Yes, Ja Morant and Jonas Valanciunas played well in the final matchup against LA, but the Lakers dominated the other 3 meetings. And secretly, I think the Lakers may have let the Grizzlies win the last time because they want to play them in the postseason. Morant won't get any easy looks at the rim against a dominant Lakers D. Next up is the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, for some people, they're the biggest threat to the Lakers. And I know they've got talent, vets like underrated Drew Holiday, still productive JJ Redick, young guys like Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, plus the most exciting rookie, but they lack experience in key spots. I do believe the Pelicans have more talent than the Spurs or the Blazers here, but the Lakers would dominate New Orleans when the stakes are highest in a playoff setting. The Spurs are the 2nd most dangerous team to the Lakers because they have all that experience and just enough talent to be dangerous. With the exception of DeJounte Murray because he was injured, every Spurs rotation player has playoff experience. That matters. They even have a champion in Patty Mills. In the postseason, experience makes a difference, but so does talent. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge definitely underperformed this season, but they're both still talented scorers, and outside of DeRozan, that Spurs defense is always a problem. But the number 1 threat to the Lakers here from these fringe teams is the Blazers. Damian Lillard has always been clutch in the playoffs. He loves ending an opponent's season. The buzzer beater in 2014 against Houston.
It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good!
Ending the Thunder.
Lillard, long range 3, and it's good at the buzzer.
But Dame already gave us a soundbite recently about the Blazers getting healthy.
Return potentially of Nurkic and Collins. Do you expect those two to be available if you do head into a bubble environment?
I'm 100% positive they will. We'll be a completely healthy team minus Rodney Hood, and we're coming back a more deep team.
Do not underestimate a healthy, rejuvenated Blazers roster with Damian Lillard leading them in this spot, especially if they have a training camp into the regular season and play-in games to warm up. This roster is dangerous on paper. Dame and CJ, vets like Trevor Ariza, Hassan Whiteside, Carmelo Anthony, and a now healthy Zach Collins and Yusuf Nurkic. Look, I'm not saying the Blazers would definitely upset the Lakers, but it would be a lot more than LA thought they were getting in the first round. Another reason this changes everything is more time for healthy players to get in rhythm. If we just jumped right into the playoffs with the 16 teams, yeah, there are guys who have gotten healthy over the break, but they would not be ready to go. With the training camp and the end of the regular season, guys like Ben Simmons are going to get back in the groove. Eric Gordon being fully ready for the playoffs is going to be huge for Houston. The training camp is going to let guys work out regular season kinks. The Nuggets will probably figure out where Michael Porter Jr. fits in before the postseason. John Wall says he's not going to play under any circumstances, and that's what some people say about Kevin Durant, but I'm not believing it till I hear it from KD himself, and that would obviously be the biggest injury news at Disney World. I don't expect Kyrie Irving to come back, no matter what. His injury had a 4 to 6 month timetable on it. He'd be cutting it close. And the final reason the Disney World plan changes everything is no home court advantage. Teams can, and I think they should, intentionally lose a game at Disney World if it means they get to pick which side of the playoff bracket they could be on. I know you don't like to think about your team intentionally losing, but don't put it beyond NBA teams. They do it all the time for better draft picks. In this case, there's nothing to lose. There's no home court advantage. So imagine you're the Thunder, for example, right now. They're the 5 seed. They're in the Lakers side of the bracket. What if they would rather play the Clippers? Lose one game, now you're the 6th seed and you have chosen your path. Of course, it probably won't be the Thunder in the 5 seed. It could be someone else. Let's say the Rockets would rather play the Clippers because Houston doesn't feel they match up well with the Lakers' bigs. The only thing that seeding means right now is matchups. Home court is gone. As far as after the playoffs are concerned, a report says that the NBA is going to keep everything in its usual order. That means that we'll get the draft, then free agency, and next season would start on Christmas Day. So the draft lottery would be held in mid-September. Then we get to find out who gets the #1 pick. Right now, it is the Warriors, Cavaliers, and Timberwolves, all with the best odds and equal 14% chance at #1. So the 2020 playoffs are going to look completely different than anything we've ever seen. I think we all knew that as soon as the league was shut down on March 11th. I do think after this experiment, they will keep some things, like maybe the play-in games. One thing that we do know for sure, though, is that this is going to change the fate of the playoffs and the eventual 2020 champ. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.